today's video, we were going to present our final case study, which is point of sale. And these are the following members, and they are Romero Villosa, Kyla Andrea Tamayo, and Bea Patricia Valdez. So, in the first slide, as you can see, which is loop. Loop is used when it is desired to make the same calculation on more than one set of data and repeating program or substituting new data. So basically, when we say looping, it is a sequence wherein it repeats multiple times. May it either be your number of statements or something that you wanted to continuously count. Plus, there are three types of loop, and these are while loop, do while loop, and for loop.
So there are the different types of loop. We have the for, while, and the do while. However, some of us are still confused with the difference between the while and the do while, in which case the do while is more complicated than the while loop. So in order for us to know it further, there are a thin lining that differentiate these two. A while loop is a control flow statement that allows code to be executed repeatedly based on a given Boolean expression. The while loop can be thought of as a repeating if statement. However, the do while loop is similar to the while loop, with the only difference that it checks for the condition after executing the statements. Later on, we will discuss about it to know it further.
So, in this case, we presented keynotes in which it will be used in order for the program to flow. It is essential to know this, for it makes the flow of your program run successfully. So, first is initialization. It is the process of locating and using the defined values for variable data that is used by a computer program. For example, an operating system or application program is installed with default or user-specified values that determine certain aspects of how the system or program is to function. So, this is initially set equal to 0 or 1. Test for limit conditions. Before logic flows gets out of a loop terminating condition must first be satisfied. So, meaning to say that the loop will continue until the given condition is met. The third one is incrementation and decrementation. After each loop is executed, one is added or subtracted to the counter. So, from the word itself, take note that the increment means addition and the decrement means subtraction. These two are easy to remember, so don't forget.
Break. It terminates the loop or switch statement and transfers execution to the statement immediately following the loop or switch. So, break statement is being used to come out of the loop instantly. Whenever a break statement is encountered inside the loop, then the control directly comes out of the loop, and then the loop gets terminated for the rest of the iterations. So, it is used along with if statement whenever it's used inside the loop, so that the loop gets terminated for a particular condition. But the important point to note here is that When a break statement is used inside a nested loop, then the only inner loop will get terminated. Continue. It calls the loop to skip the remainder of its body and immediately retest its condition prior to reiterating. So, the continue statement breaks one iteration in the loop. If a specified condition occurs, and continues with the next iteration in the loop. Counter. It is set up in a program loop to keep track of the number of times that the program segment is repeated. So, from the word itself, it is an actual counter that counts how many times the loop or program is executed.
Going back to our previous topic, we learned about the flowchart, in which every figure has its own function. We have here the terminator, which shape is oval, and it indicates the beginning or end of the program. We have the preparation, which shape is hexagon, and it indicates modification to a process such as setting a switch or initializing a routine. We have the process, which shape is rectangle, and it indicates any processing function. And of course, we have the decision, which symbolizes a decision point between two or more paths in a flowchart. Its figure is diamond shape. We have the data or output that can represent any type of data in a flowchart, and it is shaped as parallelogram. And of course, we have the arrows, which indicates as the flow line used to indicate the flow of logic by connecting symbols.
So, good day sa inyong lahat. Nandito po ako para i-explain ang source code ng aming program, which is ang point of sale. So, simulan natin. So, dito na po tayo sa aming presentation. So, ang pinakauna ko ay ang for loop. Basically, ang for loop ay a for loop will execute your program depend on how many times you want to execute it. Sa case ho namin is ilagay namin 5. Tapos ang kasunod niyan is yung if else. Ito, which bring us to our second source code, if else. So ang if else naman, ano lang siya, itetest niya yung in-input mo kung true ba or false base sa given condition na binigay mo. Kung true, ganyan. Kung true, depende sa'yo kung anong trip mo dun ilagay. So sa case namin, after i-display yung mga product, tatanungin yung customer kung gusto nila mag-purchase. So if nagsabi ka ng yes, lalabas to. Itong enter code na to. So, yung sa enter code na yan, may tatanong pa dyan. Tapos, uulit siya ng 5 times. Okay. So, ang pangatlong source code naman po namin is yung switch statement. Ginamit namin yung switch statement para ma-store namin yung value ng bawat code ng bawat product. Tapos sunod naman is yung continue. Ginamit namin to sa for loop. Sinabi nga natin kanina, yung for loop, may ilulup niya yung program mo, i-execute mo siya hanggang kailan mo siya gusto, kung ilang beses mo siya kailan gusto. So itong continue statement na yan, isa yun sa mga kailangan namin para sa program namin. Kasi kung wala yan, hindi mag-circulate yung program namin. Bali yan yung isa sa mga nasa dulo ng program ng loop. Tapos, ang sunod naman ay ang default. Ginagamit namin yung default pag kunyari, may binigay na code yung customer na wala sa system namin. Doon mapupunta siya sa default. imbis na mapunta siya sa isa sa mga switch case para hindi na specific tsaka mas madali. Tapos itong return naman, ito yung ginamit namin tong return para i-end ang program. Is return 0 meaning end na talaga sa pinakadulo to. So ito po ang code namin. Ayan, makikita nyo, medyo magulo. Ang gulo ng gumawa. Ang gulo ko. Ang gulo namin gumawa. Pero ano naman siya, nag-execute ng maayos. So ang ginawa namin dito, ito po yung sample output namin ng ginawa namin program, which is yung pinakaunang step ng program namin is yung enter ng code. Pagka tanong ng purchase ng item, kung gusto mong purchase ng item, mag-enter ng code. Tapos pag ayan yung mga code, naka-display na yan. Ayan, iingi na lang, magta-type na lang yung user kung anong gusto, kung anong code ang bibili niya dyan, kung ano dyan sa mga yan ang bibili niya. Tapos pagka-enter ng code, tatanungin yung customer kung ilan yung bibili niya. Tapos ayun, madadagdagan. Tapos after tanungin kung ilan, tatanungin kung gusto pa mag-add ng item. Pag gusto pa nang mag-add ng item, tatanungin siya ulit kung gusto niya mag-enter ng code. Pero kung sinabi niya no, ipapakita na yung total amount, kung ilan yung nakuha niya, kung magkano yung kinuha niya, tapos yung kung magkano yung pinaka-total na unlock.
But of course, in this type of program, there is a probability that a user has the chance to choose what kind of product does she wanted to purchase. And here, she has to enter a code. Then, she has to enter the quantity or how many products that she wanted to purchase. She also has the chance to choose whether to add the item or not. And what will happen is that every product that she purchased will sum it all up, and it will turn out to the total amount of the products that she purchased.